If you've ever wanted to manifest magic and miracles in your life, the spring equinox is the ideal time to do it. So in this video, I'm going to show you exactly how you harness the energies of the spring equinox in order to start manifesting what you desire and deserve. What's up, beautiful? It's Lisa Roulette, and welcome to the new earth. I don't know if you've noticed, but over the past 4 or 5 years, but particularly in the past 6 months, the new earth is unfolding right before our eyes. And I'm going to make it a mission of mine to show you how the new earth is unfolding so that you can continue to follow the path to it instead of being stuck behind in an old, ratchety, third-dimensional paradigm. In today's video, we're going to talk about the spring equinox. So let's begin by talking about the Equinox, which means essentially that day and night are equal or nearly equal. Now, this is very important because anytime things are equal, they're in perfect balance. But what is it that's in balance? Well, from a spiritual perspective and from an energetic perspective, what's in balance at the equinox is the masculine and the feminine energies. And we use the masculine and the feminine energies to produce the child. But the child isn't the individual that we rock in his or her nursery. It is the manifest life experience. So you are manifesting your life experience all the time through the masculine and the feminine energies. And this is really important because when we're in complete balance and harmony, we can access what we call the 0 point. 0 point is like accessing God or the awareness of all things. It's like accessing the superconscious or Christ consciousness, where you can become aware of all of the potential and possibility that exists as masculine and feminine energy. You know now that all potential and possibility exists. It's just a matter of you harnessing the potential and possibility primarily through the observation of the energies that you want to manifest. So if you want to manifest, say, something like money, you need to be looking at the higher expressions of the masculine and feminine versus the lower expressions of the masculine and feminine. Anytime we're witnessing, observing, and really working with the highest expressions of the true divine masculine and feminines, we produce magic and miracles. That is what we as human beings have been put on this earth for, to learn how to manipulate, but better said, I think, orchestrate energies so that we can produce or manifest what we really desire instead of being confined to systems and structures that very few people have designed because they want to orchestrate our life experience, okay? So what are the higher expressions of the divine feminine and the divine masculine? Well, in the divine masculine, it's largely about being able to go out into the world and take action with dignity on behalf of the whole or the one, okay? In the higher expression of the divine feminine, it is largely about creativity. It is largely about birthing things, not just the physical child, but also our projects, our businesses, and things of that nature. And it's also about compassion and empathy, okay? Really deep caring, but not before the ultimate, which is wisdom for the divine feminine. The divine feminine is the holder of the wisdom. We want to make sure that we are accessing the wisdom that we know through the genetic codes and through our ancestral history and through the history of humanity. We know a lot more than we tend to think we know. So we want to make sure that we're really coming from a place of divine wisdom and applying it to our physical manifest reality in a way that we trust that that divine wisdom was meant for us to use to carve a path to what is now considered a new earth, but actually what is supposed to be heaven on earth. We are not meant to live like we're living now in a third dimensional paradigm that is intentionally constructed by very few people and that serve very few people. We are meant to bring down heaven to earth. That is part of our ascension. We are remembering that now. In a lower expression of the divine masculine is things like really egotistic things, working underhandedly, only working in service for self, and a lot of, I would say, narcissism. Now, I do want to just be mindful of using that word because I know I use that word a lot, but I think it's just because A, I've experienced so many narcissists in my life, and I thank them because I wouldn't be here at all if I didn't experience what narcissism really is, but B, I see it a lot. I mean, our world is so full of narcissists, including if you're a United States citizen, our leadership is just like, oh, it is the entire political system is just one big narcissistic, energetic bomb exploding at all times. It's like horrific, but I do know that I used a lot, so I will be mindful of trying not to overuse it so that it keeps its meaning. Now, the lower expression of the divine feminine is gossip, it is isolation, it is greed, it is not caring beyond the physical self, like not being able to care about, say, your barista. Now, I'm not suggesting that you should care about your barista that in a way that it hurts you, but it's really being able to be out in the world and seeing that we are all one. We are all divinely interwoven and interconnected, and everything that we do every single day, every thought, every action, every behavior is an energetic imprint that affects the whole. So when we're embodying energies of the divine feminine, divine masculine in their lower expression, we're carving a path to the old earth or the third dimensional paradigm. When we're embodying the higher expression, we're carving the path to the new earth. Now, this is demonstrated by a number of things that we're already seeing. For instance, if you look at our education system, okay? In our education system, we are reared to spend a lot of time and a lot of money to educate ourselves to go into a workforce that has a cap on how much we can earn, versus the new earth model, which is in more higher expression of the divine masculine and divine feminine, whereby as particularly entrepreneurs are learning that we don't need 4-year degrees, we don't need PhDs. All we need is a really solid intention and a really good work ethic in order to make a lot more money than a lot of people can make in the old system. So we're learning how to educate ourselves in a way that serves us, but also serves the collective. Speaking of, if you are a spiritual entrepreneur, make sure you go check out the Rich Witch course, which will give you everything you need to monetize your magic and your gifts. That's in the description of the video below if you're watching this on YouTube. You can also see the carving of the new earth in its expression, in its divine masculine and divine feminine lower and higher expressions in our healthcare system, whereby many people for many, many years were forced to take medication to heal things like anxiety and depression. And now so many of us are learning that through mindfulness, meditation, walks in nature, we can cure our bodies and our minds on our own. Certainly there is a place for Western medicine and modern medicine, but we're realizing more and more that when we come into the higher expression of the divine feminine, divine masculine, and we embody them simultaneously at the same time in equal amounts, we are able to manifest things like better health and well-being. Now, one of the biggest expressions of the new earth and how the divine masculine, divine feminine are reaching their higher expression is through our old traditional banking systems that are corrupt, that are controlled, and that are making us poorer by the day, versus cryptocurrency. And I don't mean just any cryptocurrency. I would say specifically Bitcoin, because that's where I believe the new earth is going, but I'm not a financial advisor by any means. It's just what I believe in. But the cryptocurrency model is a peer-to-peer exchange system where you don't need an intermediary to tell you how much your money is worth, and you don't need an intermediary to tell you what your purchasing power is. Okay, so those are some expressions. Now, the reason I bring these up is because there is a natural ascension toward all of us getting to higher and higher expressions of the divine masculine and divine feminine in order to manifest the higher expression of the child, which is the manifest experience. So your job on the spring equinox, and really every day, is to surrender. And if you haven't seen my my video on the art of surrender. I'll link it in the description of the video below, but surrender to that 0 point where you can witness and observe all of the manifestations of the masculine and the feminine and determine for yourself, where am I focusing my attention? Am I focusing my attention toward lack, limitation, greed? Am I focusing my attention on not being confident that I am an energetic being and I can raise my energy to produce virtually anything I want, particularly when I turn my awareness away from the third dimensional paradigm and toward the new earth? Or am I in those higher expressions where I'm manifesting the things that I truly desire and deserve? So an exercise that you can use in order to do this is to just sit, right? You can literally do this any day, but the spring equinox is a really beautiful time to do it in sanctity, in ritual, because the energy of the universe is also supporting you. So you look at it like, okay, what has manifested in my life? What do I want to manifest in my life? What has manifested in my life? Where are the energies that are in the lower expression? And give yourself some credit. Where are the energies that are in the higher expression of both the divine masculine and divine feminine? And how can I grow in this sort of sweeping arch, sort of like that rainbow bridge onto the new earth? Where can I bridge the gap so that I can really harness the energies of significantly higher expression of the divine masculine and the divine feminine, knowing that as I go out into the world in my divine masculine energy, I am really, really well prepared to deliver to the world incredible value, and value that the world needs in dignity, because I know that when I go out and deliver, it's ultimately affecting the whole, and I am going to receive it back in some way, shape, or form. And as you continue to sort of go over that bridge into the feminine, you ask yourself, how can I be more creative? How can I be more caring and empathic about the work that I do in the world? And this doesn't necessarily have to be the work that you do in order to achieve monetary gain. It can be the work that you do in your everyday lives. So you might just say, today I'm going to make it a point to be very mindful of the words that I speak, making sure that I'm not gossiping, that I'm not being selfish, that I'm really understanding, trying at least to understand other people, and I'm really trying to create an environment by just being there where I am really vibrating, I'm contributing a frequency that is much higher, that is much more creative, that is much more divine than in an older expression where I may have been isolated, not using my creativity, and not empathic to other people, because remember, we are all one. That is a wrap for this video, my friends. Never forget, you are loved.